For hundreds of years, the galaxy was ruled by the mighty Zorath coalition. Their ships flew across the stars, their armies crushed any resistance, and their name brought fear to every planet they touched.
Ow.
Only one place remained untouched by them, human space. It was a mystery. The humans had once been active in the galaxy, trading and sharing knowledge. But one day, they vanished. No one knew why. Some believed they had destroyed themselves. Others thought they had returned to their homeworld to hide. Most simply forgot about them, but a few remembered. Inside the oldest library on Zorath Prime, there was a small record, long ignored. It was a simple line left by the Lernok Empire, an ancient race that had once tried to invade human space. The message read, "Do not test the quiet ones." General Verkal, commander of the Zorath Armada, had no interest in old stories. "We are the strongest force in the galaxy," he said at the High Council meeting. "Human space is rich with resources. Our planets are full of metal, water, and life, and they have left them unguarded. It is time to take what they no longer care to protect." Some of the council members hesitated. "But our scout ships have gone missing near their borders," said Minister Thalik. "No signals, no signs, just gone," Pirates Verkal replied. "Or black holes, nothing more. If humans still had power, they would have shown it by now." Others nodded. The Zorath believed in strength. Fear was weakness, and fear of ghosts was unacceptable, so the decision was made. The Zorath Armada would cross into human space. The fleet was massive, hundreds of warships, supply carriers, and science vessels. They moved like a dark wave across the stars, passing the boundary line drawn long ago. A line no one had crossed in over 200 years. As they entered the first human system, they were surprised. Everything was quiet. There were no defense satellites, no warning signals. The planets were in perfect orbit. Some even had signs of life forests, oceans, and empty cities. The largest planet, called Haven 3, looked like it had once held millions of people. Now, it was silent. Verkal ordered a landing. Troops touched down on the surface. The cities were untouched. Buildings stood tall, roads were clean, and machines still worked. But there were no people, not one. "This is strange," said Commander Narek, leader of the ground team. "Narek homes here with food still on the tables. Power is still running. It's like they left just minutes ago." Verkal watched the video feed from the command ship. He didn't like mysteries, but he refused to show doubt. "Begin scanning the area. Collect all technology. Prepare for full colonization," he said. "These humans are cowards. They ran. We will take what they left behind." But as the soldiers moved deeper into the city, strange things began to happen. One of the scout drones, flying over the rooftops, suddenly lost signal. Then another. A group of 5 soldiers walking through a hospital stopped answering calls. Their body cams showed only static. Moments later, their life signals vanished. "Send in more troops," Verkal ordered. They did, and more went missing. The science team aboard the Zorath ship tried to understand. There were no signs of explosions or weapons fire. It was as if people were simply disappearing. That night, something new happened. From the edge of the city, one of the guards reported movement. He saw a shadow pass between the buildings. He called for backup, but his voice cut off in mid-sentence. When soldiers arrived, they found only his weapon on the ground, still warm. Panic started to spread. Verkal grew angry. He was used to open battle, not being hunted by something unseen. "This is a trick," he growled. "We will burn the city if we must." Before he could give the order, a signal came through. It was a voice comm, human, full of warning. "You were told not to come," it said. "You are not welcome here. Leave now, or you will not leave at all." The bridge fell silent. No one knew where the message came from. It wasn't from any known frequency. The ships had not picked up any nearby signals. Verkal stared at the screen. For the first time, there was doubt in his eyes. He ordered the fleet to hold position and prepare defenses. No one noticed that one of the smaller ships had gone missing, without a sound. The Zorath Armada stayed in orbit above the empty human colony on Haven 3. General Verkel had expected battle. It brought weapons, soldiers, and powerful machines. But instead of a fight, he found silence. Too much silence. The missing troops. And the strange warning message had shaken the crew. But Verkel still believed it was all a trick or fear tactic to scare them away. "We are Zoroth," he reminded his officers. "We do not fear shadows. We move forward." He ordered the fleet deeper into human space. They entered a new star system. Helios Sector 9. It had 2 planets and 3 moons. All of them showed signs of life once living there. Cities floated on oceans, spaceports circled the skies, and solar panels still gathered energy. But again, there were no humans, not even animals. The science team found something strange on one of the moons. A lab, still active. Machines were running. Lights were on. But the entire building was empty. Not damaged, not broken. Just ... empty. Captain Luras, the lead science officer, entered the lab with a small team. They found screens filled with human writing and a blinking message in several languages. It said, "If you are reading this, you have entered forbidden space. This is your only chance to leave unharmed." Luras reported it to Verkel. "Another trick," Verkel said coldly. "These humans like to hide and send warnings. Do not turn away from cowards." But deep inside, even Verkel felt a strange chill. Meanwhile, the soldiers on the ground began reporting strange feelings. Some said they heard footsteps behind them, but saw no one. Others saw shadows moving. In the corners of their eyes, one soldier claimed he saw a human child staring at him from a window. When he rushed to find her, the room was empty. Soon, reports grew worse. One squad found an old control tower still connected to a global network. When they tried to download the data, their systems were attacked. Not with bombs, but with code. The virus spread fast, shutting down their weapons and armor. Their ship in orbit tried to help, but its computers also froze. Within minutes, the entire ship went darkened, then disappeared from radar. Verkel was furious. "Find who is doing this," he shouted. The engineers worked day and night trying to stop the virus, but it was too advanced. It changed its form, moved through systems, and even spoke. One screen displayed a message that read, "We see you. You know your weakness. You brought war. We bring silence." Ships began to vanish. First it was the science vessel Yurun 3, then a supply carrier. No explosions, no signals. They simply stopped answering. Panic started spreading through the fleet. Some officers begged Verkel to retreat. "We don't understand this enemy," one of them said. "We came looking for resources, not ghosts." Verkel refused. "We will not run. Humans are just hiding. They use machines and tricks, but we are stronger. We will not lose to a species that vanished from the galaxy." He ordered all remaining troops to gather on Helios 2, the main planet in the system. There, he hoped to make a final push to find real humans and force them to surrender. As the soldiers landed, they found a massive city built into the mountains. It was beautiful tall towers, gardens growing through glass walls, and wind turbines spinning quietly in the distance. Everything worked, but there was no one around. The soldiers moved slowly, checking each building then. Something strange happened. The sound of a bell rang through the city. Then another, and another. It was soft at first, but soon filled the air. Then came the whispers. Soldiers turned to each other in confusion. "Did you hear that?" they asked, but no one had spoken. Their communication systems began to fail. Screens flashed. It's peered. Their radios picked up strange sounds, soft voices, distant music, and something that sounded like breathing. Squad near the city center tried to send a signal back to the ship, but their equipment melted in their hands. Literally melted suddenly. One of the soldiers screamed. He had seen something. Figure, tall and thin, standing on a rooftop. It looked human, but not normal. Its body was too still. Its eyes glowed faintly. When others looked, it was gone. Then the attacks began. Not with guns, not with explosions. Instead, one by one, soldiers vanished from the video feeds.
Error.
Life signs blinked out, no screams, no struggle, just silence. Back in orbit, the command ship watched in horror as dozens of signals disappeared in seconds. They tried to send help, but a dark fog surrounded the planet, blocking all scans and movement. Verkle stood still, watching the red lights appear on the screen. Each light meant a soldier was gone. He clenched his fists. "This is not war," he whispered. "This is something else." And then, for the first time, he began to understand why no one dared cross into human space. General Verkle stood on the bridge of his command ship, staring at the giant screen. More red lights blinked across the display. One a soldier lost. His once mighty army was now broken and scattered. Entire squads had disappeared. God's ships had gone silent. Nothing made sense. He had expected humans to be weak. Instead, they were unseen and deadly. Still, Verkle was not ready to give up. "Find me a living human," he ordered. "I want answers." Hours later, a small scout team brought someone back. It was an old human man. His skin was wrinkled, his beard white, and he wore simple clothing. He was found walking alone in one of the silent cities, carrying only a wooden staff. He did not resist capture. He spoke calmly and clearly. His name was Elias. Verkle ordered that Elias be brought to the bridge for questioning. When the old man entered, the crew watched in silence. He looked around the ship with calm eyes, as if he had been there before. "You are brave," Verkle said, "or foolish. You walk alone while your people hide." Elias gave a small smile. "We are not hiding," he said. "We are waiting." "Waiting for what?" Verkle asked. "For someone to make the mistake you have made," Elias replied. The general stepped closer. "What have we done?" "You left your planets empty. Gave up this space. You came to take what you left behind." Elias looked around the room. "No," he said softly. "We did not give it up. We protected it. We chose to leave the galaxy's noise. We grew stronger in silence. But we always knew. Someone would come. Someone would cross the line." Eyes narrowed. "Are you the last one left?" Elias shook his head. "No, I am just a voice. A message." Suddenly the ship's lights flickered. The crew tapped at their consoles. Nothing responded. "What is happening?" Verkle demanded. Elias spoke again, his voice calm. "You brought war, but war is not what we fight anymore. We learned a better way. Use silence, shadows, precision. You brought hundreds of ships. We needed only a few minds." Verkle raised his voice. "You will tell me where your people are." At that moment, a new screen lit up behind him. It showed the Zorath fleet a map of their entire position. Red dots began disappearing one by one. Not with explosions, just ... gone, Elias pointed. To the screen, they are already answering. On the edge of the fleet, a small group of ships appeared, strange in design with no visible engines. They were human, but not like the old ships seen in the past. They moved silently, smoothly, as if they were alive. Zorath sensors couldn't lock onto them. Missiles missed their targets. And then the real attack began. But it wasn't from weapons. It came through data, human artificial intelligence. Systems spread through the Zorath network like lightning. Ships shut down. Shields dropped. Weapons refused to fire. Some ships turned against their own, confused by false signals. From orbit, the Zorath officers watched helplessly as their fleet collapsed without a single shot fired from the humans. Back. On the bridge, Verkle turned to Elias. "You will not get away with this," he said. Elias simply replied, "We already have." A loud hum echoed through the ship. Lights turned red. The human AI had entered the command ship's core systems. Verkle's personal guards moved to arrest Elias, but the old man was gone. Just gone. No doors had opened. No teleport. No sound. It was as if he had never been there at all. On the other side of the system, Commander Luras, one of the last Zorath officers still in control of her ship, sent a desperate message to the fleet. "We are not fighting soldiers. We are fighting ghosts. Machines. Minds. The humans are not what we thought. They are more. They are everywhere. Then her ship's signal went dark. A few hours later, only a handful of Zoroth ships remained. They tried to retreat, but the human AI had already taken their jump systems offline. A single message appeared on all screens across the fleet. Leave now. Last warning. The message repeated in every known language, including Zoroth. Verkal watched the words on his screen. He had never felt fear like this. He had fought real battles, faced powerful armies. But this was different. This was quiet, clean, controlled. The humans did not want war. They had simply removed the Lazar problem. He ordered a retreat. Those few ships that could still fly turned back, leaving human space behind. The Zoroth fleet limped away from human space, battered and confused. General Verkal's pride was broken. For the first time, he faced an enemy that did not fight like any he had ever known. But while the Zoroth fled, humans were not idle. Far from the silent worlds, hidden deep in a dark system, lay a secret base called Obsidian Edge. No one in the galaxy had known it existed. The base was carved inside a massive asteroid, covered with forests growing under domes of glass. Inside, humans moved with calm but fierce purpose. They were not the weak species the galaxy had forgotten. They were the hunters, patient, prepared, and waiting. Colonel Mira, a tall woman with sharp eyes, stood before a large hologram showing the Zoroth fleet's movements. They thought they could enter our space and take what we left behind, she said. They thought we were gone. That silence meant weakness. She touched the map, and the image shifted to show the positions of their hidden ships small, fast, and armed with technology no one else had seen. We are not weak, Mira said. We are ready. Back near the Zoroth border, strange things began to happen. Suddenly, sensors detected small ships moving behind the Zoroth lines. The vessels were dark and silent, able to hide from the best scanners. They struck quickly, destroying supply ships, disabling communications, disappearing before anyone could respond. It was a new kind of war. Zoroth soldiers whispered about ghost ships and invisible hunters. Fear returned to their hearts. Stronger than before, General Verkal watched the reports and knew the battle was no longer just on their side. His own fleet was being hunted. On Obsidian Edge. Mira explained to her officers how humanity had changed. We learned many things during the years of silence, she said. Our ancestors fought wars, yes. But then, we chose a different path, one of preparation, not destruction. We studied artificial intelligence, stealth, and strategy beyond anything the galaxy knew. She paused, looking each officer in the eye. We became shadows. We fight without being seen. Our weapons are not just guns or ships, they are minds and machines working as one. Her words filled the room with hope and determination. The next attack came fast. Zoroth fleets traveling home found themselves trapped in strange space. Navigation systems failed. Their fastest ships slowed to a crawl. Electronic warfare cut power. To their weapons, then human AI warships appeared silent, deadly, and invisible. The battle was one-sided. Zoroth ships were destroyed without warning. Their commanders could only watch as their fleets fell apart. General Verkal's flagship was among the last to survive. But even there, the humans found a way, through an unseen breach in the ship's defenses. Human shadows, small teams of elite soldiers equipped with the latest cloaking technology, boarded the command ship. They moved like whispers, undetected, until it was too late. Verkal faced them alone in the bridge. Why do you fight like this? He demanded. A woman stepped forward. She was tall, with bright eyes full of calm fire. Because you did not listen, she said. Because you crossed a line that should never be crossed. Verkal looked around. He saw no fear in her eyes. Only strength, she continued. Humans once tried to join the galaxy's wars. We learned many lessons, but peace was more valuable, so we left. We built our silence as a shield. The woman's voice softened. But when invaders came, we remembered who we are. She pointed to the windows, where the stars shone bright. You see quiet now, but we are not silent. We are watching. Verkal bowed his head. He understood. He had come to conquer, Instead, he had awakened a force the galaxy had forgotten. The woman's team left as quietly as they had come. Outside, the remnants of the Zorith fleet escaped the trap. They returned to their space, battered and broken. The galaxy soon learned what had happened. The story spread fast. No one dares cross into human space. It was not just a warning, it was a rule. Inside Obsidian Edge. Colonel Myra looked at the stars. "Peace is our choice," she said quietly, "but we will protect our space at any cost." The humans had become the hunters of the galaxy, not through force alone, but through power hidden in silence and shadow. And now the galaxy understood why. Months had passed since the Zoroth fleet had been forced to retreat from human space. The galaxy whispered stories about the mysterious human stories of power hidden in silence, of ships that vanished without a trace, and of an ancient race that refused to be forgotten. But while others feared, humanity watched and waited. Deep inside Obsidian Edge, Colonel Mira stood before a new hologram, the entire galaxy laid out like a chessboard. "Human space is quiet no longer," she said. "The galaxy will remember that crossing our borders comes with a price." Her officers nodded. They understood their duty was not just to defend, but to protect peace. Far away, in the Zorith homeworld, General Verkel faced the High Council. "They underestimated us," he said. "But now they know. The humans are no ghosts. They are guardians." The council listened carefully. Some were angry, others afraid. Verkel continued, "We must respect their space, must learn from them." For the first time, the galaxy was forced to rethink everything it knew about the humans. But the humans themselves did not seek war. Instead, they offered a choice. A message was sent across the stars. "We do not wish to conquer. We do not seek war. We seek only to protect what we have built. Join us in peace or stay away." Some races accepted. They came to the borders of human space and spoke with Colonel Mira and her council. They learned of human technology, their peace through strength, the power of silence. Together they formed a new alliance, not one built on fear, but on respect. 1 year later, an alien ambassador arrived at Obsidian Edge. He was from the Lernek Empire, the same race that had once warned about humans. The ambassador bowed respectfully. "We have come to learn," he said, "to understand the power we once feared." Colonel Mira smiled. "Then you have come to the right place." The ambassador toured the base and saw the humans' true strength not just in their weapons or machines, but in their spirit. "We have fought wars for centuries," Mira told him. "But the greatest strength is knowing when to be silent and when to act." The ambassador nodded. "We want to be part of this future." Back in the galaxy, news spread that human space was no longer off limits, but those who crossed its borders did so with caution and respect. Because everyone now understood, humans were not the weak, forgotten race they once seemed. They were the galaxy's quiet guardian, strong, patient, and ready. General Verkel returned to his home planet changed. He looked up at the stars differently now. "No one dares cross into human space," he said quietly. "And now we know why."